Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Project Network. In this episode, we will be speaking with the team from Hypercent. This conversation was recorded on September 9th, 2022, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of KPN directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also make sure to follow our account to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy. Welcome everybody to another AMA with Kadena Project Network. Today we are talking with Hypercent. They are one of the big player launchpads building on Kadena. So very excited to have you guys here with us today. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy as well to be here. I've been speaking to the people behind your project for a while now. So I love what you guys are doing.
Awesome. So why don't we just start off with, like I say, the elevator pitch of what Hypercent is all about and what you guys are building, where you came from.
Well, do you want me to start with where we came from, or you want me to start?
Sure. Start with maybe a little introduction about the team and how you got into crypto to begin with. You know, what made you guys come into and decide to build on Kadena specifically, and what Hypercent is all about.
Basically, for me, I first I got Shield Ethereum in 2016. It was about October, I think, and I first heard about crypto through Ethereum. And what was that project that used to be like a decentralized medium? Steam? Was it Steam?
Somebody was Steam, and there was also a library was another one that was kind of doing a decentralized system like that. I know they're talked about because they're fighting the SEC right now. So.
Oh yeah, Steam is long gone, unfortunately. So yeah, I've heard, but I didn't buy anything. I didn't get into crypto. It took like maybe 7 more months for me to. So I joined crypto by working in crypto directly. I didn't join crypto by buying some stuff. So the first crypto I had was earned through work. Actually, I didn't buy a lot of crypto myself. I earned it through time, and then I traded it, let's say. But I've always worked in crypto since I've heard about crypto, let's say, So the first project was actually an ICO in the summer of 2017. It was the first era of the ICO booming, with all those crazy projects that people don't remember about, like Aragorn or 10x, which basically is what Crypto.com, it beat them, Crypto.com. They were Monaco at that point, if I'm not wrong. I think even Mana had their ICO back then, right? I was working with people who bought Ethereum in the ICO, so some OGs around here, right? So I joined this ICO, and it was pretty hard joining crypto. I had to read a lot of white papers every day. I was going to work with the idea that today I will not understand what the hell is going on again, But obviously, after a while, I started to understand how things work. And as soon as I did, I left for another project because it was clear to me that the one I was in didn't make a lot of sense, right? So I joined ZoidPay. ZoidPay still exists. They're on Elrond right now, Elrond Network. They have a Chrome extension that allows you to pay with crypto anywhere through Visa virtual cards. They are a big project. I was a CMO there for 3 years. I'm still very good friends with them. Kadena is integrated actually with ZoidPay. You can pay with Kadena through their Chrome extension, as far as I remember. And yeah, after ZoidPay, I joined a couple of projects as an advisor, and then I started Hypercent. And I will get back to that after I tell you about Alex as well. So basically, Alex, I met him when I was working at ZoidPay. He was building sort of a launchpad, but on security tokens, STOs, So it was a very nice concept. Initially, it was called Wishpels, and after that, he actually called me one day and told me he has a great name for it. It's called Hypercent. But this was like 1 year or 2 years before actually doing Hypercent on Kadena. So yeah, I met Alex when he was building that project. So obviously his goal of building a launchpad were, let's say, for a long time ago. And Andrei Popa, the other Andrei Popa. There's two Andrei Popas here. I've met him at a crypto event in 2019. Basically, a lot of people are coming up to me speaking about things they've never spoken about, and they were expecting me to know about this, but actually they were trying to get to the other Andrei Popa. So I met him like, it was like the Spider-Man meme, right? When there's two Spider-Mans, like, oh yeah, we have the same name, whatever. As for Kadena, how we got in Kadena, a friend of ours told us about in, I think, 2021 around February. He told us about Kadena, and me and Alex were investigated and found it like very cool. And then we bought some, and then we bought some more, and then at some point we thought, well, this blockchain is very cool, man, but they really lack marketing. Kadena was like 30 cents at that point. There were like 2,000 people on the Kadena official, or 3,000 or whatever. It was very small community-wise, right? And we said, well, we should maybe build a new website for Kadena because we were in digital marketing. We could do that, right? So basically, we started doing that, and it ended up not becoming a new website of Kadena because it was a bit too radical for Kadena. It ended up becoming Hypercent, our actual website, the one you see right now. And yeah, we became Kadena ambassadors to get closer to the team, to be able to get to the point where the team was like, okay, you can build a new website for us. So shortly, this is how we started building Hypercent.
Yeah, you can definitely see in your website very much like it could be just a reskinned Kadena website that's along the same color schemes and everything. So very interesting to learn that that's where that came from. And also interesting to learn that you were working with ZoidPay. I'm familiar with ZoidPay because the last NFT community, which I'm still kind of a part of, is the Elron community. So as soon as I heard ZoidPay, I knew exactly who you were talking about.
I was a chief marketing officer there. I think if you go on their Medium, I have like 15 Medium articles there written as CMO of ZoidPay.
Yeah, I didn't know they accepted Kadena too. I'll have to make sure that they're on our website as one of the.
I mean, they're more than the Chrome extension. They bought a bank, a digital bank, and so on. There's more to that, but yeah, it's a big project, and we are very close to them. And maybe we'll do some other cool stuff with ZoidPay as well in the future. Maybe some integrations in our wallet. Who knows, man?
Yeah, I was going to say maybe an option for people to be able to buy NFTs off your website through them. That might be an option. Man. Exactly. Almost like give you a fiat on-off ramp built right into your Launchpad.
Yeah, we can use their APIs. We can get integrations. We got to finish what we started. Obviously, we have a lot of years ahead without ZoidPay, but we also have a lot of stuff that we want to work with them. And obviously, I mean, we can even work at their office. We are both from Bucharest, and we can even go and work at ZoidPay's office if we want. They have a big office.
Awesome. Well, let's get more into the actual Launchpad of Hypercent itself. So now that you guys are starting to ramp up and you've got both Alpha Slayers Club, which is starting mint or starting opening at the end of this month, I understand. And then you also have Kadena Kongs, which is kind of on a hiatus right now as they're going through some issues on their end, from what I understand. But when it comes to these minting of these projects, what all is going to be involved? Let's talk through like what the process is going to be. I know you guys have your own wallet that people need to make, like build a wallet. What made you guys go with that instead of, say, a connection through X Wallet or other networks?
Well, it's simple. When we started building that, there was no X Wallet. And also we wanted to have an integrated experience with NFTs and projects and the Launchpad. And I mean, I think we are the only Launchpad worldwide to have a direct wallet integration. And also, it works on mobile, man. It works. You can use Hypercent. People, like 55% of people who participated in our IDOs did it on mobile. They made the swap on mobile, even the KYC. So obviously being in control of everything is harder. It's obviously not harder to build, and it's going to break stuff, and it did for us. A lot of stuff got broken, and we fixed it, and so on. And it's part of developing in tech, right? If you're going to be gutsy and have courage, obviously you're going to break things. But on the other hand, when you get it together and it works, it's beautiful and it's easy to use and so on. So yeah, for NFTs it's pretty simple. You join whitelist, and then at some point you lock join whitelist by locking Hype to get lottery tickets. We won't have any guaranteed allocations for NFT projects, only lottery tickets, because as opposed to, let's say, projects where you sell tokens, NFTs have a limited number, right? There are a limited number of tokens, and you don't want to allow people to get like 15 each. So it's fairer to only allow people to get lottery tickets, and they can win the spot to the sale of NFTs, right? So you join whitelist, you lock Hype, you get tickets, lottery is drawn, you know if you're in the sale or not. The sale starts, you swap, you get the NFT, and when the sale ends, there's going to be a reveal process for everybody. So nobody's going to see their NFTs until the sale ends, but we want to do a reveal event when everybody can see their NFTs. We want to have like a nicer reveal than we've seen so far on Kadena, because we think that the reveal is the most interesting part in buying NFTs. You know, people want to see what they bought. They want to see like how rare their NFTs are. They want to know these things. You know, it needs to feel a bit like opening FIFA cards. You get excited about that, right?
That's something I've always wondered about. Being that I've bought NFTs and minted NFTs on other networks like Elron and such, where for example, on Elron, you mint an NFT, it's revealed right away. Like it shows you right away. What is the reasoning behind the fact that these hold off on reveals of the artwork? Is it possible that if I was to say, come on to Hypercent, go and when it's on a public mint, like no whitelist or anything, can you just straight up mint an NFT and see it right away, or is there some kind of thing in the code that makes
that would something that you would do on our marketplace when it's ready? But in the Launchpad, you're buying an NFT from the Launchpad. There's the public mint is tiny, man. You're on a Launchpad. People who own this token have access to it. People who got whitelist from the team got access to it, you know? And when the sale ends, everybody gets to see what NFTs they got. And it's an event in itself. People show, look, I got this, I got that. It is, it's let's say, it's an ecosystem event, right? Because if you're going to see yours and then the other guy sees this as well, but nobody knows the rarity chart, then people ask for, is this rare? Is it epic? Is it whatever? The steam goes away until everybody knows what they got. But if everybody know what they got at the same time and they can also see how rare it is, they can discuss. They can show it to us. You know, we can have a thread about it on Twitter. We can have a nice live event and so on. So yeah, that's the purpose of it. It creates excitement.
Yeah, that makes sense too, because also too, rarities aren't known until all of the NFTs are minted anyhow. So it's not really like, you know, if I mint, the very first person who mints an NFT on that chain is going to have number one rarity because of the fact that it's the very first one out of the key. But once they're all minted and all of the different traits and levels,
maybe it's going to be the most common because everybody has an NFT like him.
Exactly. So no, I like the idea too of holding back reveals and making an event out of it. It does, like, community is a big, huge part of these NFT projects, and having that plus having all of the information ready too for rarity listings and rankings and stuff like that, so that people aren't confused or misranking things. I like that idea of holding it back and being able to make an event out of it. Now, when you say like make an event out of it, will there be like an unveiling connection or section on the website itself where you'll be going to be hosting these events?
In our wallet, actually, you're going to see the NFTs in our wallet, and the reveal it's going to be in our wallet. And we are working to have like to give you an asset that you can share with your reveal, right? A shareable asset. We are working on that. So like right now, if you buy tokens in our IDOs, you go and redeem your tokens. Now you're just going to go and reveal your NFT. You're going to see the NFTs then, and each of them has a button to reveal. It's going to show you the NFT, and then it's going to show you a button of show trades. It's going to show how rare it is. So somewhere along this line. So everything is done in our platform through our wallet and so on. And this is another reason why we wanted to have a web-based wallet. You can inject images. You can have some fun things around there.
For sure. Have you ever considered integration into other third-party wallets? For example, if let's say Kadena tomorrow was to release a mobile wallet or something, would they be able to link it with their Hypercent wallet?
Everything on Kadena except Zelcore, okay, is built using Chainweaver code, even X wallet. For this reason, everybody can import their X wallet seed phrase into the Hypercent wallet. Basically, the wallets are just mostly UI to Chainweaver functions, right? So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Good to hear. I love, that's one thing about wallets is the fact that they, as long as you all agree and stay on the same standard, you can move them back and forth securely because of your phrase. That's one thing I've always loved about blockchain and about crypto in general is as long as everyone runs on the same kind of standard, everything is integrated and together, which is just great to hear.
Well,
Now,
hopefully we are going to be able to do that with NFTs as well. I mean, some people have went rogue on that because they needed to basically to create some extra function. But we are collaborating with Kadena, actually. We have calls with the Marmalade team to get help on and also to collaborate on how to best create an NFT marketplace using Marmalade without getting away from the Marmalade code,
Now, being that there are a few different marketplaces now, and like you said, they are running on kind of like their own versions of Marmalade because, they wanted to do a certain feature that wasn't available in Marmalade. Do you see a future where all of these outer integrations get pulled into the main Marmalade code so that it would standardize all the marketplaces across each other?
Maybe a bridge or something, I don't know. But the fact is that, Kadena is super early, and as you can see, there are a couple of marketplaces, and you don't see Babena stuff on Arcade, for example, and so these problems exist of let's say lack of conformity in like code that they use, right? So we kind of want to avoid that, when we create our marketplace, we want to have it like on the best Marmalade possible. And yeah, because obviously if you start wrong, it's going to be a lot of work to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. It's better to start on a standard and stick with it than try to jump back and forth. Or, like you said, hopefully maybe a bridge will come in the future that'll be able to port the NFTs from one standard over to the other, which, people could always build that if they have the coding know-how. So let's go a little bit now into your token, because we've been speaking about how people will need to use Hype to buy whitelist token or tickets, I guess. Let's explain a little bit how Hype started, these processes you guys have gone through and the stages you have gone through with IDOs and stuff like that, and where Hype goes in the future along with its companion Stardust.
So basically, it started with our own IDO, which was a combination of whitelist won by people in contests and so on, and whitelist that we have offered to individuals who marketed us on groups, and also whitelist won by people who participated in our Telegram. It was basically a lottery which granted you tickets based on how early you were on our Telegram, because we wanted to let the early community participate first. It's easy to support a project when it has 5,000 members on Telegram, but it's harder to support it when it has like 300 people. You appreciate that, right? So that's how it worked for our IDO, and it was very fun. The first, it was obviously without hype because we were selling hype, but we had zero marketing cost for our IDO, man. We did not pay a dime for marketing. Everybody was doing stuff for us for whitelists, and then the second iteration, which we also have right now, it was by locking hype to get lottery tickets and guaranteed allocations. We were against a tiered system. So basically, we let people pick between a maximum of 5 GAs and 7 tickets. So it's a combination, I think 35 combinations of what you can get. It's a preliminary system before Stardust, because we have to learn what people are doing. We have to see user behavior and so on. And we are going to also use this system for a while now, because we still have lessons to learn from it before going to the system where you lock hype, you get Stardust, and then the Stardust you burn to get into sales, or you stake it in the IDO Vault. Also, the IDO Vault will need to wait for a while until we launch more projects, because we need to fill the IDO Vault before we release it to people, which will make it a lot more valuable. Once the vault is starting and it's filled with stuff, it's going to be a hell of a vault, man.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time and building and getting more projects on board. Now, when you talk about getting projects on board, I see that there is a section that says apply to launch on the website. But what criteria do you look for in a project when it comes to getting listed on your Launchpad? Are there certain things that are definite red flags, or how? Let's go a little bit more into that.
Well, basically, we want them to be able to build unpacked. If they bring no value building-wise, and I'm talking now about IDOs, if they bring no value building-wise, if they don't want to learn packed, if they just we want tokens, but we don't want to do any packed development and so on, it is going to be a red flag for us, right? Because you have to come with some value. On the other hand, also, if they can only build and they say, yeah, we don't care about community, that's also a red flag, because obviously it's crypto, it's somehow decentralized. You're talking to a bunch of people, right, that are going to support your project. So you need to respect that. And obviously red flags are everywhere, man. You can see projects coming from BSC saying things like, yeah, we raised in private, but we want to have an IDO at the 4 times the price. And we don't want to expose our community to projects that have raised for 4 times less than they are able to buy in a public sale on Hypercent, So yeah, we are looking at a lot of things. And also if they make sense, if they make sense in the market, are those guys building something that the market needs? Is it competitive? Does the team look all right? We have calls with the teams and so on. We can see how knowledgeable they are. We actually sometimes we test them to see if they would stray away from their vision if we push them a bit, because we are very we love teams that don't easily stray away from their vision. No, we love people who are you cannot move me from doing this. So yeah, there's a lot of things, and we have a lot of projects applying, but let's say that not a lot of them are ready to have a sale. But the ones that are ready, they will have it, and you will see them.
Yeah, I noticed that. I've been going through, we're now over 120 listed projects on our website, but that also includes, exchanges and all that kind of stuff. But when you nail down to NFTs, you notice that there isn't that many actual live NFTs and ones that are really, at that point where they're ready to launch their collection. But it is getting really quick that there are lots of projects that are building really quick and building up towards that. So hopefully in the next couple months, we can get a couple more projects that are, at that point with their artwork, with their development, with all of that stuff, that we can get them on board, because you guys are definitely one of the more looked at launch pads because of the fact that you were included in the Kadena grant along with our parent company, Eucalyptus Labs. You want to maybe discuss a little bit about what all is involved with your grant and what exactly it means for the Kadena community to be part of that?
Well, it's basically us building on Marmalade. I'm not personally involved with the grant directly. It's not my, let's say, responsibility. It's the other Andrei Popa, who's working on the grant, the CTO. But basically, it's Marmalade stuff. Building the marketplace in the right way, setting the standards, making sure that it's built to last, and it's not going to be like we're going to build something today and tomorrow a new standard will come up and it's going to be unusable. So shortly, that's our grant.
Awesome, yeah, because they definitely need someone to take the reins on that, and I feel like you guys, with your experience, will definitely be a good fit for that. I know a lot of projects are dying for Marmalade to be a more robust system that can do what they need it to do, and hopefully you guys can bring that to the community. Now, let's talk a
Actually,
little. Oh, go ahead.
speaking with Kadena, and with Marmalade team, we actually saw that some things that were thought not be able to be done with Marmalade are actually maybe because of some devs don't really understand the whole extent of what you can do with it.
So you are finding new ways that Marmalade can be used that even the team themselves didn't really think of.
Kadena comes up and says, "Look, guys, you can do this and that. You thought you're not able to do it, but look, there's a way around this and around that, stuff like that." So, I don't think the understanding of Marmalade is at a very high standard, industry-wise. I mean, in Kadena right now, I mean, for everybody, it's still there's still a lot of unknowns, which is cool.
I feel that kind of comes down to just lack of documentation and stuff like that. If the documentation, and like you said, you said that people say, oh, you can't do this with Marmalade, the team is like, well, here's a way that you can do it. Then that information needs to get out there to the community so that they can also, instead of just forking off their own version of Marmalade, can either reevaluate and wait maybe until it's actually incorporated into the main coding, instead of going off on their own tangent, which could cause more problems down the future when everyone wants to get on the same standard and standardize the whole process.
Yeah, but in the grant there's also documentation involved. So, and also, didn't Eucalyptus got a grant for documentation?
Yep, we are also working on a few documents as well.
So things are becoming
our CEO has been walking around in the different Kadena channels talking to people lately. I don't know if you're in the Whale Pool channel. We all kind of hang out in there as well, because that is one of the best sources of information for Kadena out there, I find, even though it's a scary place to be, but
bit toxic and grim, but yeah, there are a lot of great guys there. And I've been speaking to Kobe for a while now, since before Eucalyptus was a thing. So yeah, this basically sums up what we are doing grant wise, and hopefully the next projects that will come in the bull market will have their way paved to build easier, right? Because it's nice that we can do this when the market it's red, because you get more time to work. You're less stressed. During a bull market, everybody is like going mad, like move it, do this, do that. There you have like maybe 50 projects a day filling the form on your website. You can't do that unless you scale during the bear market. And when the bull market comes, you're ready for that stuff.
Exactly. It's the projects that can build through right now and make it to that bull market that will reap all the benefits. All these projects that you're seeing now come in that are just kind of one-off, no real utility, no nothing. They're just going to disappear when it comes to the bull market, because they were never in it to win it to begin with. I've been narrowing down in the community that there are all these projects being built, but it's a kind of a small community of the people who are really diehard about Kadena becoming the future. There's a lot of people that are just taking advantage of the community and just kind of, throwing things out there, sucking in the money, and then moving on to the next thing. And we don't need that in the community. We need more realistic, hardcore, in it to win it projects like Hypercent and people like that are wanting to build not just for themselves, but for the better of the entire community. Because that's how we're going to move forward and be prevalent and a big player in the next bull run when all eyes start looking out towards new projects like ours.
Actually, this is exactly what we are doing, man. We have our head down, we are building and so on. People don't understand that, getting hyped up in a project, can end very quickly, especially with meme coins, you get on CoinGecko, you do this, you do that, you get on a DEX, it works nicely. But at some point, you're going to like you won't be able to say anything new because you've already finished all this market mechanics way of playing with that token. But since you're not building anything, you're going to become boring and things will go downhill. But as for a project like us, we're not that worried when people get less excited and go away for a while. Silence is good. We are building, and we know that when the time comes, everybody's going to be back, and we will be better than the last time. Because in the end, I think this is what's important, always to improve your products and always come up with new things and so on. And you are right. The number of people, even in like NFT zone, is very tiny. Like I was looking at KitKat, which is one of the bigger NFT projects. Maybe I think it's the first mint in Marmalade. Maybe I'm wrong. They have 800 something holders, right? Owners. An arcade, the monkeys and so on, and the bulls, they have below 400. So there's literally below 400, below 1,000 people who buy NFTs on Kadena. Looking at, until now at least, looking at these things. We have around 3,000 hype holders and around 4.5 thousand KYC users. So hopefully we will increase the numbers of users getting NFTs on Kadena.
Now, that is one thing that I don't think we've mentioned before is KYC. A lot of things that, like you see a lot of these IDOs and things going out there right now that are done through their own personal websites and things like that, which me as a Canadian, I stay very far away from all those things because that could definitely come back to haunt me in the future. Getting involved with things like that are through un-KYC'd and unsecured ways of doing it. So when it comes to that, what do you guys like? What are the procedures? Do you guys go through another company that does the KYC for you and hold the information?
Of course, man. We don't want to hold people's IDs. We're not crazy. We work with KYC Aid, which is basically a company that is used by BSCPad. And considering the kind of people who buy Fitcoins on BSCPad, if these people can understand how to pass the KYC, we want that product because it means anybody can use it, right? So that was our thinking when we got with KYC Aid. And yeah, it's pretty basic, It's a very easy to pass KYC process-wise, UX-wise, it works on mobile as well. And thus we have like 4.5 thousand people who passed the KYC, man. And that's a lot. I mean, there are Telegram channels with less members, and we have the documents of those people. They trusted us. I mean, we don't have the documents. Our KYC partner has them, but still, these people trusted us with their IDs and so on, which is amazing.
Yeah, and people, they hear KYC and they're like, I'm not getting involved because you got a KYC and stuff like that. They don't realize that it's not the companies that are doing the KYC, like you guys are, saying that you have to do KYC to participate in these launches, is not just to protect you, it's to protect the user as well. People don't look at it that way. And this is the Wild West, but regulation will come one day. So, and the government doesn't forget. They're right now, doing lawsuits from 10 years ago through the SEC and stuff. Like you got to realize they don't forget, and if they want your money, they're going to come get your money. So
Yep.
I always
There is
say you're
gray zones.
best to
Yeah,
go the safe route.
gray zones are dangerous and they can turn against you. So yeah, and also we have KYC. We are a serious project, man. If you don't raise through KYC and so on, I think it's going to be very hard for you to get on a centralized exchange and so on. I mean, big exchanges they ask a lot of questions. You might even feel like 30 pages of legal documents and explanations about your token, about how you raised, about stuff like that. They aren't playing. So you know, for our sale, our max cap was 1.5K dollars, right? It's very low. We kept it like that. We raised from more than 1.6 thousand users, right? Because we didn't want to create like big holders directly from ourselves, right? But we took this harder route, and with KYC and with no US and so on, and it worked in the end. But it could, I mean, we could have raised like if we wanted like 5 million without those restrictions. But in the long term, we are going to be a lot better doing this. We're going to be a lot safer.
And especially, I'm sure things like that also help when it comes to things like getting funding from a team like Kadena, being that they come from a banking background and know the importance of that kind of thing. It just shows that you're very serious about what you're doing and you want to do things properly for everyone worldwide. So also, I like the idea, like you said, of limiting the investment for the IDOs to $1,500
For
because
ours, it was. For ours, it
yes,
was.
yes, for yours.
In Mock, you could buy a lot more because of the way the rounds were designed and because there are less people involved since the market crashed, basically. Since our IDO, everything went downhill. But market-wise, I mean. But usually it's good to limit as much as you can. The more holders you have, like, man, 3,000 holders in Kadena is a lot, Is a lot those are a lot of people there, and this is because we didn't sell to 300 individuals, for example, right?
Yeah, because there's sitting on a couple 100,000 KDA and stuff like that could easily come in and just clean out an NFT collection,
Exactly.
clean out an IDO, So it's good. It's like you were saying earlier too about how there's, over, what was it, 400 or no, over 800 kitty cat holders, like different wallets holding kitty cat. So it shows that, keeping putting limits on things, it sounds like a bad idea to begin with, when you first hear it, but overall for the value of the project, it's much more better to do those kind of things, for limiting the amount you can purchase in an IDO or limiting the amount of NFTs you can purchase per wallet in a mint. So it's good to hear that you think more about that, because it is community. It brings more people in. It gives more people a chance. You want your IDO to sell out rather quickly, but not to just a couple of people, because that defeats the whole purpose. You might as well just have a VC.
There were 900 people in the mock IDO with Kadena at $1.5. I mean, it's a lot of people still. I don't think other sales are having maybe half of that at this point. So yeah, it is important to do that.
For sure. Now, when it comes to upcoming IDOs and things like that, now when it comes to actually getting your project listed on your, if I wanted to have a token and wanted to do a launch through you guys, what exactly? Now you said there are some red flags or things like that, but would you consider doing an IDO for a meme coin or something like that, being that the team was serious, devoted, came to you with everything ready to go, not asking for any help, anything like that? What are criterias on things you look for besides
No, man, because
just utility?
meme coins, they launch without KYC. They want to have a low liquidity launch on a DEX. They want to pump it. Meme coins are built to be wrong. They're not. It's not something you want to touch as a launchpad. And we said that we are working to avoid Kadena becoming BSC. So BSC is filled with Dodge shit, Inu coin and stuff like that. And we are With NFTs, okay, we'll do that. NFTs, it's art. You can have NFTs with use cases. You can have only NFTs with art, and it would be good art, and we have no problem launching like NFTs, right? Which have no use case. But tokens, yeah, we are not down to that. No, it needs to make sense. It needs to be something you're building on Kadena. We don't touch meme coins. Maybe this is a use case for Back Alley. If they build the permissionless launchpad, it would be great for meme coins.
Yeah, like a DEX Launchpad would be more of a place for that.
Yeah.
But so let's say an NFT project came to you and said, hey, we have an NFT project, but we also have a token that's going to have utility through the NFT project where people could say, like, for every NFT you hold, we're going to send users X amount of tokens once a week or blah, blah, blah. Would you then consider facilitating an IDO for that token through an NFT project?
Only the NFTs. We would only launch the NFTs. The token, no. We are not very keen on launching meme tokens at all, actually. So yeah, we are talking to projects building DeFi. We are talking to nice projects building games and so on, which take a lot of effort. Building a meme coin right now on Kadena is possible because everybody else worked their asses off. So you can understand how to create a coin, understand how to create all these things, the multisig and so on. So it is nice that it's easy to make a website and sell meme coins on Kadena. It means that we have gone a long way since we started building, right? But on the other hand, it is lazy work.
Yes, I'll definitely agree with that. We have noticed that it seems like things have gotten to a point now where if you have just a little bit of dev experience in other chains, like if you made tokens on BSC and such before that, you could pretty much come over and get the help you need to launch a quick meme token on here. And we're finding that it's become kind of a bad place to be right now in the network. But at the same time, like you said, it shows that we're getting traction, that people are really starting to notice Kadena. People are like, oh, there's all these scam tokens and all these scam projects coming out right now. And it's like, yeah, because people are seeing the potential in Kadena and are trying to come in and get it.
It's easier to build because somebody else has done it before. I mean, before, look, even our IDO, we had the first vesting on Kadena, the first KYC sale with on-chain KYC information, right, linked to K accounts and so on. So we had a lot of firsts, but basic firsts, So yeah, the developments in Kadena have been like huge since we started in November. It is easy now to come and create a meme coin, and it's probably going to be even easier in 2 months.
Yeah, it all, like I said, I always tell people, do your own research into things. Don't just, this thing's got, just because a page, it looks like, you're seeing a lot of tweets, but, about this same token over and over again, do a little bit of research to see that all those tweets and all that stuff is all pretty much coming from the same group of people. Like that should be a red flag for a lot of people. Like I'm not going to call out any projects or anything by name, but it is kind of becoming obviously clear to me that we do have a group of dedicated people who are just in it to try to milk as much as they can out of the community. And I'm hoping that more people stand up and realize that, it's a bad thing, but at the same time, as long as we're aware that it's going on and we alert people to it, that people realize that, they'll come, they'll try their things, they'll see that they're not getting anywhere, and they'll leave. But at the same time, they are building up more, proof cases, proof that people can come and build on Kadena, and hopefully that'll actually bring the serious people who seriously want to build.
Yeah, exactly, man. So in the end, hopefully we'll get more serious projects with bigger budgets and so on. But for now, there are great projects building on Kadena. But obviously they don't have such a presence as meme coins, because if you're going to build a project and you're at the beginning and you're not just going to like create a token and talk all day on Telegram, you're going to have a lot of work to do. and a lot of calls to make, and they will be less popular community-wise initially. But we will help them through Hypercent because we have one of the biggest communities around in Kadena. So we will help them become more popular. The projects that deserve this, who we are launching, and they're building hard, and they have devs and so on.
Yeah, we got, like, for instance, we have miners and Kadena people in here listening. They're a solid project, and they're not really fully released or ready yet because they're doing things right. They're taking their time and they're building a project that's going to withstand time. It's not going to be just a quick, get in, here's my thing, get out. Like you guys are. You're taking your time and building things properly, as opposed to rushing things out just because, oh, if I get out now, I can get in all this Kadena while prices are low, and then I'll be sitting on it when the price takes off. That's not the goal. The goal is to build something that is going to live for decades, assuming the Kadena network, takes off and goes the way we all think it will.
And they're building a game, man. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to build a game. It's bottom line is very.
It's extremely hard.
So obviously they raised like 2 months ago. 2 months is not such a long period of time. They will come up with stuff. They started their staking program. They have a lot of locked mock there. They're doing a great job. And obviously, I think in 5 days they're going to have their last token released, the last 25% of mock. And after that, it's all out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you get all these projects that are promising these things that are not really feasible, even especially at the price of Kadena right now. Like, promising these big 3D games and things like that, and it costs a lot of money to make a game. Like that's why mock, I understand, is staying with 2D. 3D. You might as well 10 times the cost of what it's going to cost you to build.
And also, people come to DeFi, to GameFi, and also to play to earn and so on. They come for the game mechanics, and I remember that like 10 years ago, the stupid browser games we had, but we played them, like werewolves against vampires and shit like that. They had like shit graphics, but they made you play it through mind mechanics and game mechanics and so on. So I think before going to crazy graphics, you really need to make sure that your play to earn works, man. Because you might build graphic for a bad mathematical model and you might fuck up, but then you can always improve that with 2D because it's not going to cost you a lot.
That's another same way with you guys with building your Launchpad, is that you're not gonna just rush things out the door. You're going to take your time, do things properly, and make sure things are working, and that you're working on the proper standard that Kadena is going to run with in the future. So
it's a combination, because we also created things that broke. Because when you have to innovate, things will break, and you have to innovate, right? So it's a combination of doing things right and also doing things fast. With our Launchpad, we have like we had our fair share of bugs and stuff like that, and and this happens when you're trying to build in a very brave way, let's say. But yeah, it's a combination. Then you can fix them and make them work properly. For example, now we have a CMS that allows us to quickly change things on our website, like project pages and so on, right? So we don't need devs to change a project page. But that CMS did fuck up some things on our website, and we had to modify them and so on. So progress is painful, let's say, and it's going to come with bugs, but you have to deal with them. We're also working on automating like project launches even with pact and contracts and so on. We want to have a full no-code experience. So basically, I can or a moderator can basically launch a project without needing the devs of Hypercent, because the devs need to build, not to launch.
Yeah, I fully understand the problems of CMS. We have a CMS for our Eucalyptus, or for our Kadena website. So, for example, when people submit their projects to us, I myself can go in and just easily add the projects in the CMS thing without having a dev, push a release to GitHub or anything like that. And it does take, you put in one wrong field, and all of a sudden your website's not working properly. we had a problem with that yesterday. So
exactly, and then people are sometimes, people are very mean sometimes with things like this, because it's a lot easier to talk than to build. But in the end, when the bull market comes, you're going to have 50,000 new people will only see your end product. So that's the bottom line of it.
Yeah, you can't improve a product without breaking it first. Sometimes you gotta break some eggs to make an omelet, right? So
exactly.
Well, that's awesome. Do you guys have any other alpha news, maybe some dates about upcoming projects or anything that you guys haven't talked about yet?
Well, I think that Slayers will start registration at the end of the month, if everything goes okay. And after Slayers, we will have some new stuff coming up. Obviously, we are not going to spill anything out, because whenever you say something, people take it for granted, and they end up pressing you, and then they don't even enjoy it anymore in the end. We just like to come up with things and be like, well, this is happening.
Yep, under promise and over deliver. That is the safest way to work.
Yep, it is. Sure. It is the way.
So, I don't know if anyone listening has any questions that they have for Hypercent. Feel free to send in an invite to speak. We'll get you up here. But yeah, no, I'm very excited to be able to talk with you guys today. I've been, part of AMAs with you through I think Action CEO. I think you were involved with
that's
those. And yeah, they do great AMAs. And then just been around the community and talking with you guys. So it was very awesome to actually get to sit down and speak directly with you. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. And sorry we don't join spaces, but as I've told you, we are more secretive. We don't want to share stuff. We just want to build them and get them out. And somehow, I do understand that the purpose of spaces sometimes is to, it's like press. You need to get some valuable information for your listeners, and we are like our precious. We don't want to give it away.
No, totally understandable, and I definitely commend you guys for focusing more on the building than the marketing. Because quite honestly, as long as if you build an amazing product, people will see that, and that will bring them in. And you guys are well on your way to doing that.
Thanks. Well, man, look, we launched on our own Launchpad, and that says a lot. We raised to build a Launchpad, but we raised on our own Launchpad, so it shows our development. Or we are very keen on building things, and we also I'm a marketer, man. I love marketing, but marketing is not always talking about what you're building. Sometimes marketing is not talking about what you're building and actually coming up with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, definitely having something, a product definitely is more marketing than just going out there and talking about it. Showing someone, hey, look at this, is a lot better than, hey, listen to this. Let's listen to me explain about this. Actually putting something in someone's hands and letting them use it is by far the best marketing. And if you don't have the product, what do you have to talk about anyhow, right?
Exactly.
All right, well, it doesn't seem like we have really anyone that wants to ask any questions. So thank you very much for joining us today. Very awesome AMA today. I learned a lot more about Hypercent than I knew already. So whenever you guys have anything else you want to share, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are more than ready to open up some time.
Somebody requested us to speak. Sparrow requested.
Oh, we got one. There we go.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No worries. Glad you saw that. There you go. Oh, and he's gone. Oh, there we go. Hey, Sparrow.
Hey, guys.
No, he's here, man. What's up, man?
All good, man. I don't really have any questions. Just like to thank you both for your time here. A lot of the things I wanted to know anyway were answered. I just want to thank you guys for everything that you guys are doing in this space at the moment. But yeah,
thanks for joining us, man, and listening to our rant.
It's no worries, man. It's always good to see the Kadena family grow, and I still think we're still a few years away from being where we want to be or what we all have in mind and the vision for the network itself. But again, it's big props to you two and you guys over at Hypercent as well, allowing this community and space to grow, which is nice.
Thanks for your support, bro.
No worries, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. Awesome. Well, if no one else has anything else to say, I guess this would be a good spot to wrap it up. So thank you very much for joining us today. Andrea, thank you very much for being the voice of Hypercent for us today. And like I said, whenever you guys need anything from us, reach out right away. We'll get on top of it for you.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks everybody who joined us. Have a great day, guys.
You're welcome. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
boys.
That wraps up another amazing AMA. Thank you for listening. Here at KPN, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on each project before investing. Also, make sure to follow us on our social media, from Twitter to subscribing to our weekly newsletter. All the links can be found directly on our SoundCloud profile page. Thank you very much for listening and take care.